jam. I got kind of... I don't know the term, but instead of just oh jam, it was like, oh jam.
Decided to add a few more syllables.
Yeah, I got like southern preacher who gets really into it.
I heard French a little bit.
Oh, I heard breaking stuff. But yeah, that. Okay, let me try again. Oh, jam! Hello again, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 490 of the Mana Pool. Come on in, the water's fine. Wah, wah. I am Chewy, the lead dork. I'm very excited because I have a new desk in the other room that I'm not using yet, and that's exciting to me because I'm a big nerd. Also dork. Lead dork. Yes. Hi, other dorks. Save me, for God's sake.
Oh, we were just going to let you keep running that rope out there. I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler and tangent master, and I am sitting at a desk. It's actually a very nice desk, and it's clean. Or cleaner than it's been in a while, because I've been cleaning. Clean.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. I've been meaning to clean up around here before I go out of town for a week or so, but I haven't. And my desk is way over there on the other side of the room, and it is covered in nonsense.
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And my desk is... I'm sitting at my desk. It is the same desk I've had for 14 years.
Nice.
And yeah, it's definitely seen a lot of love. I can definitely see where I rest my hands. Because you got the place where when you play a game where your arm rests against, it's worn in that spot, and then you can see where my mouse sits because it's another worn spot, and that's where my hand rests when I'm playing Warcraft or whatnot.
Nice. Yeah, I am using the desk that I had when I was a kid in my bedroom when I was a kid, which this was before computers were a thing in homes.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been using this desk forever, especially once I moved once I got away from college. I think I had a different desk in college. Wait, college came with desks, right? Yeah, okay.
Right, they provided us furniture.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I didn't have this in college. No, I didn't. But yeah, once I got the apartment, I brought it with me, and yeah, I've been using it as my computer thing forever. But now that I do the streaming thing, this ain't gonna cut it anymore. So I got a desk from Amazon on Black Friday for Christmas from the parents. I was like, hey, remember how last year you got me a second monitor and it was awesome? He's like, yeah. I'm like, want to buy me a desk? He's like, desks are expensive. I'm like, I found one for this much. He goes, buy it. Here's my credit card number. Buy it. I'm like, oh. Thank you. He's like, yeah, hell yeah. Now I don't have to buy you Christmas presents. Sweet. So yeah, Bill came over today. We saw The Disaster Artist, which was awesome, by the way, and we put my desk together. But it's in the other room because it's too echoey in there for me to just move the computer in there and start using it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to move lots of furniture in there, and that is not gonna happen until after Christmas. I'm fairly certain. So, but anyway, hello everyone. This is the Mana Pool where we talk about nonsense with magic. Or magic with nonsense is the goal.
Right.
Just so long
we
as
use nonsense words to talk about magic.
We'll go with that. Yeah, that works. So speaking of magical nonsense, there's some sad news that came out. What, Monday?
I
think so.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's not sad yet. In April of 2018. They're releasing Duel Decks Elves vs. Inventors. But that's not sad. What's sad is that that's the last Duel Decks.
Oh. When did Elves vs. Goblins come out?
10 years ago. So yeah, it's been going for 10 years. And since Goblins just had their second go, as it were, with the last Duel Decks, they're giving Elves, because it started with Elves versus Goblins, they're giving Elves their second go and wrapping it up there.
I'm curious to see how Elves versus Inventors ends up making sense.
I mean, the Inventors will be what, like blue something
Like blue, white. Yeah,
like artifact people versus elves that smash things.
I guess.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it's just very sad that Duel Decks are ending. I mean, I can't really blame them. I haven't bought one in several years because, broke.
Yeah, I've tried to keep up with them, but I haven't even opened the last several because it used to be that sometimes Chewy and I would play with them a few times after they came out, and I would also play with my brother. But
Dude!
then for a while, I'd like open one up and get a couple games out of it with my brother, and that's it. But the last several haven't even opened them up.
Dude! With the new desk, there's a place for us to play right there.
Oh, cool.
Because it's an L-shaped desk, and if I can rig up a way to put a camera that makes sense, we might be able to actually do that live-action Duel Deck series that I've been wanting to do literally since I started YouTube. Oh, that would be cool. Anyway, that's for neither here nor there, but I wanted to start with that because it was actual news, and it's very sad. To me, anyway.
Yeah. It got me thinking about how many supplemental products they actually do. Because I was like you, I was like, I used to get those. And then I'm like, why don't I anymore? Well, because of Commander decks and Planeswalker decks and Fat Packs and gift boxes. And
which they're not called Fat Packs anymore. What are they calling them now? Bundles?
Bundles,
Something.
yeah.
But, and maybe I shouldn't include that because that's actually just a different way of getting the Magic set that's going on now, although again it does have additional things like the boxes. But my point being, I'm not even getting into master sets or
unset.
Or unsets or conspiracy sets or. So I guess I'm a little sad by it, but if I'm being completely honest, I guess this just doesn't affect me too much emotionally because I haven't bought into it for a while.
Yeah.
So
that's sort of how I feel too. Is I bought Angels versus Demons and Elves versus Goblins, and I haven't bought one since.
Oh, that was what? Elves versus Goblins was first, and Divine versus Demonic was the fourth one, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. One of the worst balanced ones, but we talked about that on Monday Night Magic.
Yeah, and I haven't bought one since. Not to say that they're not good. I think they're great if you're a new player and you want to get, you want a theme deck kind of pre-made.
Mm-hmm.
But for the bulk of people, I really don't think it's...
I actually think Heroes versus Monsters from 2013 might have been the last one that I picked up. Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I know I haven't gotten Elves versus Merfolk yet.
Merfolk versus Goblins.
Merfolk versus Goblins.
Yeah.
Whatever. And there's another recent one.
Mind versus Might, probably.
Mind versus Might. Yeah, I don't think I got that one either.
I know I didn't get that one.
Yeah. So just while we're talking about the full list, Elves versus Goblins, 07. Jace versus Chandra, 08. Divine versus Demonic, 09. It was the third one. Wow.
Definitely did get that one, but yeah.
Garruk versus Liliana, 09. Phyrexia versus the Coalition, 2010. Elspeth versus Tezzeret, 2010. 2011 was Knights versus Dragons, another horribly unbalanced one.
Jeez.
And Ajani versus Nicol Bolas. 2012 was Venser versus Koth and Izzet versus Golgari. 2013 was Sorin versus Tybalt and Heroes versus Monsters. 2014 was Jace versus Vraska, Speed versus Cunning. 2015 was Elspeth versus Kiora and Zendikar versus Eldrazi.
Mm-hmm.
2016 was Blessed versus Cursed, Nissa versus Ob Nixilis, and 2017 was Mind versus Might and Elves versus Goblins. And 2018 we'll wrap it up with Elves versus Inventors. So it started in 07.
Yeah, I don't have either of the 2017 ones, and I think I accidentally ended up with 2 copies of Blessed versus Cursed because I didn't remember that I'd already gotten it.
Oh, it was December 2014 too. No, wait, that's the reprint. It was November 07 was when the first one started. So it'll go from November 07 to April 18. Damn. But anyway, those were a lot of fun. At some point, if I can get the camera situation worked out, we're totally going to have to do that, Mike.
Yeah, I think, let's see. Some of those I don't have together anymore. I did get the anthology, so
Nice.
I do have some of those first few put together still in that respect. But there are others that I ended up taking apart for pieces over the years. But like I said, I still have several that have not even been opened. So we have stuff to work with.
I know I never took mine apart, so I think I have us covered up to Heroes versus Monsters.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but that's for the far future anyway, so never mind. They announced also that I think this is not a replacement. This is just another announcement that they are making at the same time. Is they're doing Challenger decks. You remember event decks?
Yeah, these are basically event decks.
Yeah, they're doing 4 Challenger decks that are essentially event decks, but apparently they're not making them until closer to their release, so they're going to be more relevant to what's being played in Standard. Like, the whole point is this will be how you start playing Standard. Each one will come with, what does it say, at least 2 mythics and feature mini rares and whatnot, and they're going to be $30 a piece.
Okay, so the event decks were made earlier in the development process when they didn't have as good a feel of what Standard was going to look like, is what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what Gavin says here at the bottom of this article.
Okay.
So, yeah. Hopefully that'll work. Goodness knows all of the other nonsense they've come up with hasn't, but hey, hope springs eternal, right?
That's what I've heard.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's part of the news. The other news, actually, is a tweet from Aaron Forsyth that shows off one new card from Rivals of Ixalan, but that new card has a lot on it.
Yes, it does.
So you'll recall we talked about tokens a while back. I think last episode, actually.
Yeah.
The tokens of the new set, and one of them was a thing called City's Blessing. And that was all it said.
Yeah. We compared it to, like, the Monarch, which at least has some text attached to it, which is, drawing extra cards. And when you get hit, you transfer it.
Yeah, but it was art, a name, and some flavor text, and that was it. And we were like, okay. Well, now the hand has been tipped. So wait, have any of you not seen this card?
I just now read the card.
How about you other two? Did you see this before?
I didn't see it until I listened. I heard about it on Tuesday as I was listening to Monday Night Magic. So,
why would you
now
listen
I'm
to that
seeing it without the goofy face on it. So,
oh, you were watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
All hail YouTube.
Yay, those bastards. Okay, then. So, hey, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about this card since you literally just read it.
All right. Vona's Hunger.
Wake up.
For 2 and a black, it's a rare instant that has Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game, is what Ascend stands for.
Seems
or
good.
what it is. So it says, each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you have the City's Blessing, instead, each opponent sacrifices half the creatures he or she controls, rounded up.
So this tells us immediately what City's Blessing is and how you get it.
Right.
Because it's not a keyword. It's a keyword. It's not an ability word. So that reminder text is going to be the same for all Ascend cards, right? That's right, right, Mike?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
Okay, good. So Ascend will say, if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. So that's how you get Ascend.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then some things probably on the card that has Ascend, but as well as maybe some other ones that don't have Ascend will care about whether or not you have the City's Blessing. Here, it's a pretty big upgrade from each opponent sacrifices a creature, and yes, each opponent sacrifices a creature, to they sacrifice half the creatures they control, rounded up.
Yeah, that up is important.
That up is important.
So on Monday Night Magic, we thought about it, and in like Standard, 10 permanents is a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
We do have Treasure to help out,
That is true.
but it still is. Bill was
Yes.
saying you can't really expect to have this until like turn 6 or 7. I'm thinking that's pretty ambitious on its own. I'm like 6. You really have to be pushing pretty hard to get there on turn 6.
If you hit all your drops and play a bunch of stuff that sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like 8 plus.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit all your land drops and have like 3 permanents, that's turn 7. But that's a couple of big ifs. But yeah, so the way that this works, I think I said this on Monday Night Magic, so if you listen to that, bear with me. It's essentially like Threshold, but not. Like it's a thing that you have some criteria you have to hit, and once you hit it, you then have to activate it by playing something with Ascend. It's not like if you hit 10 permanents, you get the City's Blessing. You have to hit 10 permanents and then resolve a spell with Ascend.
Yes. But now you have the City's Blessing.
But then,
And you don't necessarily have to
that,
keep the 10 permanents.
yeah, exactly. Once you get the City's Blessing, it says you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. So someone casts Armageddon and Wrath of God and then goes to bed, AJ, then it doesn't matter, you still have the City's Blessing. I brought that up on stream a few days ago, and it made me hate AJ all over again. Because a different AJ popped up in stream. I was like, hey, AJ, what's up? So is that kill AJ? I'm like, no. Like, why is he kill AJ? Like, let me just tell you why.
You have to kill AJ.
Because one night in college years ago, we were playing a long game, and he got sick of it, and he goes, Wrath of God, all right, Armageddon, all right, I'm going to bed. And we were like, what? Like, that's
He
where
will
it
never live that
started.
down.
No.
Didn't even want to deal with the mess he just made. He just restarted it for everybody. I was like, all right, I'm going to bed, you guys. I was fairly certain there were threats on his life that night.
I think we were having a major debate of, okay, he died. We're going to play this game
Yeah.
as though
Do we pretend he just didn't do that?
We just pretend he didn't do that and we just
Yep.
keep playing.
But anyway, okay, back to Ascend. So yeah, once you get it, it's yours for the rest of the game. Doesn't matter what happens. So it's cool. It's like I said, it's sort of like it's a placeholder for like whatever. If you have 10 life over your starting total or whatever, but once you get it, you're good and it doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And they made it nice and cool and flavorful and neat. And that means they can make cards like Vona's Hunger. Vona's Hunger by itself is fine, I guess. I mean, it's an instant, and it says each opponent, so 2 and a black is probably good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. But then if you've managed to get the City's Blessing, it's suddenly insane, and it still only costs 3.
Yeah.
So I personally can't wait to see what they do with this on other cards.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, green creatures that get +2/+2 when you have the City's Blessing, something like
Yeah,
that.
and burn spells that do 2 extra damage or 3 extra
Yeah.
damage or damage to another target or something when you have City's Blessing.
Right.
Also to that creature's controller, let's say.
Yeah. Or a white spell that gives you 5 more life if you have the City's Blessing.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a pretty big effect, more so than all that random nonsense we just rattled off, but this is also a rare.
That's true. Yeah, we named common and uncommon effects.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a planeswalker that cared if you had sit? No, actually, it wouldn't. That would be bad. Never mind.
Why is that bad?
Because then you would never play that planeswalker ever, unless you're playing the Ascend. It's too. What's the word? Insular.
But is Ascend really something that you have to build strictly around? If it's something that every game naturally
Well,
tends.
in order for it to matter, you have to cast a spell with Ascend and resolve it. And if you draw your planeswalker but don't draw any Ascend cards, then that planeswalker that cares about City's Blessing is like, I'm stupid.
Yeah, you have to get the blessing first.
Yeah.
What if you had a planeswalker that had +1, gain 2 life, then Ascend?
That would be really cool, but it's still really insular. It won't matter outside of, Rivals of Ixalan.
True, but
If you
they
get
can
City's
be
Blessing.
Unless the planeswalkers, one or more of the planeswalkers' other abilities, also cared in some way about whether you had the City's Blessing.
and that's what I was getting toward.
But then you're getting kind of wordy. I don't see it.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm calling it now.
He'll make the first 2 ability planeswalker.
I don't think
Because otherwise they won't be able to fit things on the card.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying that it could happen, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what we know. We got Vona's hunger. Somebody please feed Vona.
Hungry. Nom nom.
Yeah, I had some vegetable beef soup and an oatmeal cream pie, so I'm not hungry. So you don't have to worry about Chewy's hunger. Yet.
Okay, so I lost my connection to call and I couldn't hear you, but there was one more thing I was going to say.
What's that?
What's that?
Was that I'm wondering if it says for the rest of the game because they intend it to be something that you just have and it stays there and people can't take it away from you, or if it's written that way to be clear about how it works and it's possible to lose the city's blessing. Because if it just said if you control 10 or more permanents you get the city's blessing and the sentence stops there, then that's kind of unclear as to exactly how it works. That's not clear enough to play the card properly for someone who doesn't know the full technical rules for Ascend.
That could be.
So I'm wondering if for the rest of the game is just there to make it clear, or if it's there to indicate that it's something that can't be taken away from you.
Wouldn't that be the same thing?
No, because if it says for the rest of the game, that's just setting up a duration. But then if there's another effect that says so-and-so loses the city's blessing, that would actually make it go away.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Given just this one card, and knowing what the token looks like, I assumed it's sort of like an emblem that just goes in the command zone and sits there and is non-interactable.
Yeah, and there's no interaction.
But that's an assumption. It hadn't even occurred to me that there might be a way to lose it through some other effect.
Yeah, but your emblem example is a good point. They don't like... there's only one card that can interact with emblems, and in a roundabout way. Wait,
what is that?
When Karn restarts the game, he erases emblems.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that for some reason.
Huh.
Nice. I guess it is restarting the game, so why would you keep them?
Right. I mean, I guess technically Lightning Bolt can interact with emblems if they're only at 2 life, but...
No, it works if they're at 3, too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Good point.
Shut up, Mike. All right, well, that's food for thought. And I'm sure they usually give us a Christmas preview. Like, there's always something that pops up on the mothership on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So I guess next Monday we'll find out.
And it's going to be... next Monday is the week before previews officially begin. And they always drop a little something anyway.
Yeah, because previews start on the 1st, so...
Correct.
Next episode will be Rivals previews, almost certainly.
Yep.
I guess we'll also find out what the Wizards holiday card is.
Oh.
Shouldn't we know that by now?
Have they told us that?
I don't know.
I don't remember seeing it anywhere, but it is a bit late, isn't it?
Yeah, they usually show that way, but because by now, like the one year I got one, I'd gotten it by now, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I'm just forgetting.
Or maybe they didn't do. I have no idea.
I don't remember seeing it.
And we talk about so much stuff on Monday Night Magic that I don't remember.
Internet.
Go, Google Ranger. So, by the way, it just occurred to me that this weekend might be a time that people are traveling. So, as a Christmas present to all of the listeners, this was not early released. Everyone got it at the same time.
The holiday card is some disassembly required.
Link.
What is that?
Now that you said the name, it sounds familiar. Bam. Yup. Okay. Yeah, I saw this.
Oh, I forgot about this comic.
Because I think this was posted on October 17th.
That's why we forgot, because it was like way back. Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I only end up skimming these Quellutor comics most of the time.
I mean,
I usually read them pretty well, but again,
how often do they go up?
Actually, maybe just 1 or 2 a set, now that I think about it.
That's what I was thinking. So, just for completion's sake, some disassembly required. A single black. It's an enchantment. Pay a black and sacrifice a creature. Distribute the sacrificed creature's keyword abilities among any number of other target creatures until end of turn. If it's December, you gain 1 life for each of those keywords.
Woot.
And it's this big metallic monstrosity of a snowman. And the flavor text says, now all they needed was a jolly, happy soul.
Is jolly a keyword and happy is a keyword?
Yeah.
Because then that's 2 right there.
Oh, that's cute.
This looks like it could be a scene on Bablovia.
It is silver.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
How many keywords does a chroma have again? Lots.
It's lots, yeah. All right, then. So, that's not why we came here today. We came here to you listeners today to do what we didn't do last week.
Which...
It is, yeah, that was, I think that was my call. Like, hey guys, we started late. Let's not do this week.
Yeah.
Which is why there was a hastily put together Mad Lib that I missed a line on. Sorry about that. But, so now we're going to do a Mythic Conscription. Mythic Conscription, for those that don't know, is a segment where we go back to sets that existed before the mythic rarity. We go through the rares in these sets to see which, if any, of the rares would possibly be mythic. And we are horribly inconsistent with this. Sometimes we look at, would this be mythic now? Sometimes we look at, would this have been mythic then? And sometimes we're just dumb. And sometimes the sets are just dumb.
More often than not, with the older sets, they are just dumb.
Guess which category today's set falls into.
Now, keeping that last part in mind, we're doing a Mythic Conscription for alliances. Because last time we did Ice Age, and this is the next set. Alliances is really weird.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. I really thought that Ice Age and some of those we've done were tough. And then I pull this up and I'm like, for a set that has Force of Will in it, why does this feel so bad?
I think the problem is that we're only looking at the rares. I get the feeling, and I'm not going to put too much money on this comment. I get the feeling that if we were looking at the whole set, it would make more sense. But that's just a guess. You know, rares themselves specifically could tend to be very odd.
And I see that, and a lot of times that can be done on purpose, just so that, you know, odd cards show. You actually want them to show up less often, especially for limited play.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you mentioned Force of Will, but that entire cycle was it uncommon in alliances.
Yeah.
The only reason they're showing up in this search is because they were reprinted at rare in various online releases.
Oh, and I understand that. And once I saw that, I excluded them from my discussion. But I just mean like the set that had Force of Will in it. Just to say, people look at the set and it has Force of Will in it, and then I look at these and I'm like, but this one was hard.
Yeah, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah. Shall we get into it?
I don't think I realized Yavimaya ants were uncommon at the time.
So what on this list was uncommon at the time?
Hold on,
the pitch spells.
The pitch spells.
Definitely the pitch spells.
And I'm looking at the lands and artifacts. I think all of these were originally rare.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
All right, just want to make sure. Because I don't want to get into it and like, no. I guess
I could switch on a different view of this and it'll just show me the rarities. Let's see here. Yeah, if you change the display from visual spoiler to standard, it'll show you the rarities along the side.
Oh, standard.
Okay.
Okay, so Scars, yup. Force of Will, yup. Contagion, yup. Pyrokinesis, yup. Bounty the Hunt, yeah. Okay, just the pitch spells thus far.
Which is really too bad because
Yeah, that's it.
if anything, I thought the pitch spells, if they weren't, and I knew they were uncommon because I remember a lot of people saying, "Wow, Force of Will at uncommon," but I kind of wish they were rare because they do something kind of unique and interesting, and in at least one or two of these instances, fairly powerful. But unless you want to consider them, they're uncommon. So
Yeah, and when stuff like this was done later in like Masks Block and then later again in Cold Snap, those cards were rare, and
They
it made
were.
sense
well,
because it was more well understood how powerful it could be to be able to cast a spell without having to use any mana.
Yeah.
do we want to run through them real quick, or do we want to just not worry about them?
What, the pitch spells?
Yeah.
Sure. So they all have an alternate cast ability of pay 1 life and exile a card of the corresponding color to your hand from your hand,
Right.
and then they do a thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're all instants that cost 5.
Oh, are they really?
Yes.
I did not
Although
realize
they have
that.
different
Wait,
mana costs.
no, Pyro
Oh, Pyro costs 6?
costs 6 and it doesn't cost a life.
That's
Well,
confusing.
Okay, let's run through this real quick. And Scars of the Veteran doesn't cost life either.
Yeah,
So,
only the blue
really?
and the black one cost life.
All right, let's go through this real quick. So Scars of the Veteran is
So
in white.
confusing.
For 4 and a white, it is an instant, and you may exile a white card from your hand. This is the Oracle text, by the way.
Yeah.
You may exile a white card from your hand rather than pay Scars of the Veteran's mana cost. So either 4 and a white or exile a white card. Prevent the next 7 damage that will be dealt to target creature or player this turn. At the beginning of the next end step, put a +0/+1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented that way. So kind of turn damage into toughness boost.
Into a butt.
Into a butt.
Turn damage
Yeah.
into more ass.
Which, I don't know if this is mythic or not, and we can kind of get into that, but I think it was kind of an interesting, tempo shift. If you're like, I'm going to, lightning bolt that, and you're actually, by pitching that spell, you're actually ensuring this creature they wanted to kill stays alive, but also making it more resilient. It's a nice come out of nowhere effect. And then there's this blue one, Mike.
Force of Will says it costs 3 blue, but we all know that's not true.
I mean, I've seen it happen once, I think.
That's true. I think I have hard cast it a couple times.
It has this nice alternate casting cost of 3
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah, you can. But otherwise, you can pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand instead of paying the cost. And the effect is counter target spell.
Yeah, that's the famous one.
Yeah, so format defining in the then standard and extended, and it keeps things from going too off the rails in legacy and vintage.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was one of the, I can't remember if it was an event in Richmond or an event in Charlotte, and I don't know if this 3 questions actually got released, but you asked Jared Silva, no, I think this did get released. You asked Jared Silva, one of the questions was, what card you would like to add to or remove from Modern or something like that. And he said he would be interested in seeing Force of Will legal in Modern.
Because not only is he a sexy robot, he's also a monster.
I mean, in Legacy and Vintage, it's more of a, it's a don't lose the game button.
Yeah.
You're having to 2-for-1 yourself to stop your opponent from doing something crazy that will end the game on the spot. But you were able to stop them temporarily. I mean,
Sure.
spending 2 cards is better than losing the game.
That is usually how that works, yeah.
Spending 2 is better than spending 60.
Oh. So the next card is the black one, Contagion, where you have to pay a life, like Force of Will, and exile a black card from your hand, and it says distribute 2 -2/-1 counters. Is that weakness? 2 weakness counters?
Yes.
Among 1 or 2 target creatures. So it's a neat little removal thing for free.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to kill off 2 of their things shouldn't be underestimated, especially at an age when creatures were just small in general. And if you couldn't kill them, -2 power still is gonna save you a lot of life as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Then there is the red one, which is Pyrokinesis, which for 4 and 2 red is an instant. You may exile a red card from your hand rather than pay Pyrokinesis mana cost. Pyrokinesis deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures.
So yeah, that's pretty good.
pretty straightforward. The last one is in green, and it's Bounty of the Hunt, and it's a little odd.
Yes.
So for 3 and 2 green, it's an instant, and you can exile a green card from your hand. There's no life loss or anything like that. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures. For each +1/+1 counter you put on a creature this way, remove a +1/+1 counter from that creature at the beginning of the next cleanup step. Why it has to use counters for this, I'm not sure.
It has to use counters because that's the original way the card was printed. And I'm pretty sure it was originally printed that way to help you remember what the split was, to help each player remember what the split was. The problem is that doesn't, and probably never really did, work within the confines of the rules because there's no true way to distinguish between any, there's no way to distinguish one counter from another in terms of which is which. The game just doesn't work that way. For a period of time, Bounty of the Hunt was redone to be like Seeds of Strength. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Uh-huh.
But that was different enough. Not using counters mattered enough in terms of function that eventually they reverted it to what Brian just read, to use counters. And the reason the counters come off at the beginning of the cleanup step was so that it would act more like the pump spell that it was supposed to be, where something gets plus whatever until end of turn. And so you wouldn't have weird problems where the counters come off before damage is cleared from the creature, before the marked damage is cleared and the creature dies, even though you pumped it up.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah, that would make you angry.
But I thought
Like that makes me angry, and that's not even the case. And I'm now like incensed. This, for the longest time, I think even to this day, this is the only pitch spell from Alliances that I own. It's
Really?
never been in a deck because it's.
I was gonna say I've never seen you play before,
Correct.
and I never will.
Gosh, I can't believe all this time I thought all of them required 1 life. Like, I'm certain that I have cast Pyrokinesis and paid a life for it, and neither player noticed that
And
that
Thomas
was wrong.
was just like, sure.
Gabe is like, if you want to pay a life, I mean,
No, I think like everyone thought that that's just how it worked. Because of Force of Will and Contagion, which are generally regarded as the best ones.
Yeah.
RTFC.
Yeah, Mike. Read the friendly
So-
card.
What do we think about these as far as their rarity?
I mean, they're all not great except for force. Like, as
Yeah.
far as, like, power level, they're
Or do
really
they
not.
bring something kind of unique to the game that didn't exist at the time?
Yeah, these were the first pitch spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the concept is rare, but not all of these effects are.
Yes.
I think at the time it might have been safe to call the effect of Scars of the Veteran rare, just because it's so big. At the time, I don't think they would have considered the effect of Force of Will rare, even though now we understand it's
Yeah.
very, very powerful.
Well, Counterspell was a common, right? So
Oh yeah, and it was for years.
yeah. So they might.
And many other pieces of counter magic.
So even if they thought that, well, this is kind of unique, they may not have jumped to Mythic, even if Mythic had been around at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why it's uncommon too, because to them the effect was actually a pretty staple one, especially for this color.
Yeah. Like I think that, like, in hindsight, if they were going to go back, they would have made this a rare cycle just because.
Mm-hmm. And made the effects maybe a little bigger on some of these.
Yeah, like Pyrokinesis could probably have done more than 4 damage, even though it's free.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think these are not Mythic in the slightest. As much as we want to make Force of Will Mythic, it just didn't make sense at the time.
No.
Okay. I just thought it would make for an interesting discussion because it is such a powerful card. And all right, well, that only leaves us with the rest of these cards. So, well, I think I could make it, if we go to white, I think I could try and make a case, the lawyer in me, I think I could try and make a case for the Ivory Gargoyle.
I could see that case.
I agree.
Hey, Dirk, you want to make it unanimous? Or do you get me wrong? I mean,
I can see it.
Okay. For 4 and a white, it's a gargoyle. It's a flying 2/2 for 5. Woohoo!
Sick.
When it dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, and you skip your next draw step. And it has an activated ability. Pay 4 and a white to exile it. It being this creature. And no, this isn't one that other players can pay. Only you can do it. So the thought being, maybe there's a point in time at which you don't want a 2/2 flyer and keep skipping your draw step. So
yeah, if they have a way to kill it every turn,
yeah,
then you have a way out of that loop. Because if they kill it, then you don't draw a card. Then you're not getting anywhere, son.
Right. But obviously, and it sounds like everybody agrees with me, but obviously, it's kind of a unique effect. The fact that it can't die. And at the time, there wasn't too much stuff that exiled, correct? So,
I think this set is where that started to ramp up a lot.
Was it?
The remove from the game.
Yeah. I mean, you have the card Exile right next to it.
That is true.
Oh, but that can't target white creatures. Never mind.
My point being that this was at least somewhat difficult to deal with for the opponent because, it keeps popping back, and maybe they're skipping their draw step, but if you're spending, for example, a burn spell every turn to deal with it, then you're down a card every turn as well.
Yeah.
So,
it's basically replacing your draw with, getting to draw this and cast it for free.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that it requires no additional mana investment is interesting. So
yeah, like the problem is if they have a 3/3 flyer. Yeah. Then this guy is kind of bad. But then I guess you just don't block and you draw a card and see what you get.
Right.
And then hopefully swing in.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But yeah, I think it's Immortal Nature. Like, this is one of those cards that Inquest was like, dude, look at this. This is crazy. And since this is when I was reading Inquest, some of these cards are going to come back because Inquest was like, dude, look. And like the advertising, when we get down to black, one of these cards was heavy in the advertising, which means it's a card that's always been in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ivory Gargoyle. And it's got such sick Quentin Hoover art. Look at that. It's actually nice. Beautiful. But Ivory Gargoyle is one of those that they were like, look at this. This is crazy. It never dies. Wow. This has never been... wow. And that might be coloring my take on it. But also because the rest of white is so bad.
See, here's the thing, though. I'm doing my notes for this. I'm like, Ivory Gargoyle. The rest of these... pitch spell ? Wait, weren't these uncommon? Okay, ask guys about it later. But the rest of these, not so much. But I'm like, if every single color has an obvious one like this, even if the rest are bad, that's okay because I know I can get this done. And then I looked at the rest of these colors and I'm like, oh, so that's how it's going to be. Anything else in white for anybody?
Yeah, like Exile is just a combat trick.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Decree is a hoser.
It's a hate.
Yeah, it's a hate card.
Which every color got at least one hate card here, which I saw.
Yeah,
So,
Sworn Defender is just a weird, like, infinite blocker thing.
I really want to put, like, an aura on it that gives it +1/+1. I just kill all the things.
I don't know how layers work. Mike, does that work? Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Mike again. Yep.
I mean, I would think it would work, but that is a good point, because now you're adding another. You're actually changing its power. I guess does the Oracle text say change its base power?
Yeah, and that's what it would have
Mike's
meant.
back.
Yeah, sorry, I had lost call. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, the Oracle text does say base power, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it would have always worked that way, even without that new templating convention. Changing a creature's power and toughness only affects its base power and toughness.
I was gonna say base power. It doesn't say base power and toughness in the Oracle text.
Why doesn't it say base power and toughness in the Oracle text?
I don't know, but it doesn't.
He's right, it doesn't. Does that change your answer?
No, that's like I said. That's just templating. That doesn't have any rules meaning. Like look down at the ruling below it.
Yeah. Good lord. This is
see,
insane.
it's always applied in sublayer B, and that's what the base power and toughness language means.
Oh, okay.
That means apply it in sublayer B. So you apply all the other bonuses and decrements on top of that.
Okay, so if you give it +1/+1, it will now kill all the things.
Yes.
And survive all the things.
Yes.
Which it was going to survive all the things anyway, right?
Right, but now it will definitely survive all the thing.
Nice. So, okay, let's read it. It's a 4-mana 1/3. And for 1 mana, Sworn Defender's power becomes the toughness of target creature that it's meeting in combat -1. So it's always 1 damage away from killing what it's fighting. And its toughness becomes 1 plus the power of that creature. So it's always, the Sworn Defender is always 1 hit away from dying. But it's also 1 hit away from killing. Like, it's set up to just always stand in the way, thus the name. It's very flavorful.
Yeah, let's say it blocks a 6/4. You activate this ability, then it turns into a 5/7?
No, 3/7.
Yeah.
3/7. Thank you. Sorry.
So they will effectively bounce off of each other no matter what they throw at you, unless they have a combat trick.
Right.
And they have to do that combat trick at the right time.
But
then they'll always bounce off of each other. But if you give it +1/+1, because of the way layers work, now it's a 4/8, so it will totally kill the crawlworm.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Is
it's a really cool effect, but I don't think it's mythic.
Not even close.
No.
Because it's just like, it might as well say deals no damage and receives no combat damage. Like,
I mean, I remember when I was in middle school and I first saw this card in someone else's deck. I'd never seen it before. I was immediately like, oh my God, it can block forever. That's the best card. I want it so bad.
yeah.
But, now I understand it's just a blocker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It can totally block forever, though. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's super flavorful, and I really like it, but it's not mythic. And then the only other one is the Sustaining Spirit.
That's the other one I was going to mention.
Yeah, this one is close.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about it, Mike.
So Sustaining Spirit, for 1 and a white, it is I think it's a Guardian Spirit now.
It is
Is an Angel Spirit. Oh, they took out the Guardian type. Oh, that's too bad. So it's a 0/3 Angel Spirit who does not fly. They just gave it the Angel type because it's, obviously one in the art. They gave it the Spirit type because it's obviously one in the name. Anyway, a 0/3 Spirit for 1 and a white with cumulative upkeep of 1 and a white. So that cost is going to grow every turn. But its ability is damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1, reduces it to 1 instead.
Which is worship.
Yes, it's worship was applying this ability to, to a better and harder to kill card.
And Worship didn't show up until Urza's Saga, is that right?
That's right.
So I looked at this one too, and I was like, I don't know what it is. I just felt like the Gargoyle got the nod over this one. But I thought this one was at least in second place.
Yeah. Like this type of effect, sustaining spirit Ali from Cairo, I think could very well have been mythic at this time.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because it doesn't say something like, if it said something like Platinum Angel, where it's just you don't lose the game, once you can't pay the cumulative upkeep anymore, you just lose the game. But because this keeps your life total at 1, once this goes away, you're still at 1.
Yeah.
So
you still have a chance.
So you know what? Maybe White gets 2 this time.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I also think it's neat that it points out that it's damage.
Right.
Like, if you end up losing life or trying to cast Force of Will when you're at 1, well, you're still dead, stupid. Good job.
And Worship only stops damage too, right?
Possibly. I think that's right. Worship says yes. It also says damage. So okay, yeah. I think Brian's right. I think we have 2 in white.
Yeah, which isn't fair to the other colors because
most of them don't get any. Spoilers.
All right, so blue.
Looking at the blue, I started to wonder if we'd done this already because let's see. Because I know you guys have called me stupid for liking diminishing returns before, but I couldn't tell whether that was in the context of a Mythic Conscription discussion or just telling me I was stupid for liking diminishing returns.
The latter.
Okay.
Why would we call you stupid for that?
I mean, that's what I meant to say.
I mean, I guess this day and age there are better cards that do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But back in
maybe
the
I
day,
just remember Thomas maybe I'm just remembering Thomas calling me stupid for liking diminishing returns.
I can see him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think diminishing returns was probably the closest to Mythic and Blue for me, if only because it has the potential to be a strong effect and because it evokes a member of the Power 9, Mind Twist. Not Mind Twist, Time Twister.
Right.
And Mind Twist should have been power, but yeah. So what's diminishing return to do there, Mr. Smarty Pants?
Okay, so diminishing returns for 2 and 2 blue. It's a sorcery. Let me get the oracle just in case. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library. You exile the top 10 cards of your library. Then each player draws up to 7 cards.
Yeah. So,
and the point of that, I'm certain the point of you exiling the top 10 cards of your library was so that you couldn't just keep, grinding out an infinite recycle game with multiple diminishing returns like you can with Time Twister.
Right.
Yeah, this was heralded as the new Time Twister.
Mm-hmm.
When the set came out, it was like, look, it's Time Twister, but it's not broken. I mean, it's broken, but not in the way you're thinking.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I had that down as maybe, and I had the rest as no, definitely not, and ha 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 ha.
So like, diminishing returns had what else did this at the time? There was Time Twister, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There was like Felden's Cane just did it for you.
No, Felden's Cane just reshuffled the graveyard. You didn't get cards.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You didn't get to redraw your hand.
I forgot there's a draw 7. I'm just thinking of the recycle side of it.
Oh, the recycle side? Yeah, the recycle side was Time Twister, Felden's Cane.
I love
to do the whole graveyard. That's probably it. I know there were other cards that could do multiple cards from a graveyard. Some of them were in alliances. But as for the whole graveyard, I think it might have just been Time Twister and Felden's Cane.
Let's see. Let me get some oracle text here. Okay. Search.
Shuffle graveyard might do it.
I searched for shuffle graveyard library into. I got 95 cards. Jesus. When was Grinning Totem? That was before
Mirage.
this.
Grinning Totem.
Was Mirage before?
That's not what
after Ice Age?
Grinning Totem doesn't recycle anything. That must be some weird.
Oh, because it's got library, graveyard, shuffles. Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first old card I saw. Nope. I saw an old card border or frame, and I'm like, ooh. Nope, that was from Torment. Yeah, this... Oh, nope. Yeah, this might be one of the few. I'm not seeing anything else. Okay, wait, there's another 30. Hang on. Next 60. It's actually... I went to Scryfall because people keep telling me to use Scryfall instead of Gatherer because Gatherer sucks. By the way, they did announce that they put the unstable variants into Gatherer. So...
Oh, cool.
That's cool. You know, it's about time. So there's Reminisce. When is that? It's target player, but that's a recycling effect. When was that? That was way later, right? Reminisce was Onslaught. Whoops.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, here's one. Time Twister. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this was one of the few effects that actually got you your entire deck back.
Mm-hmm.
The other two looked to be just with a cursory search, Felden Scan and Time Twister. So, I mean, that's fairly important. Losing 10 cards really in a deck that would want diminishing returns doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So, I think this one, just because of the rarity of that effect at the time and the fact that it's still pretty powerful, it's only 4 mana, that might be the closest we have to a Mythic.
I definitely think it's the closest. I mean, so there's not so many others that we can't at least hit on these. Library of Latnam is either draw 3 or a tutor, which is fine, but it costs 5, and it gives the most important choice to your opponent, so no.
Yeah.
Phantasmal Sphere...
I love Library of Latnam, just for the record, even though it's not great. I just love it because in a Commander game, like do I draw 3 right now or do I go get one that I want? And in Commander, that's dangerous either way.
I love that in Commander, but just not Mythic.
Yeah, no.
Phantasmal Sphere took me 3 times to read until I finally just said screw it and looked at Oracle.
Yep.
And then I'm like, wow. Just wow.
Yeah, it's really weird. It grows, and every time it grows, you have to pay for it.
It's got cumulative upkeep that's just not worded cumulative upkeep. And then the bigger it gets, when it dies, the bigger a token is that your opponent gets.
Yeah. Oh, God, your opponent gets it? I forgot about that.
Yeah, your opponent gets the token. It sure does.
Dude, if it was you, that would be great.
Oh, this card would be sweet. Good call.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's a 0/1 for 1 and a blue. It has flying, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then you sacrifice it unless you pay 1 mana for each counter on it. So it grows, and you pay for it. It works sort of like cumulative upkeep.
Yeah.
When it leaves the battlefield, target opponent creates an XX blue orb creature token with flying, where X is a number of +1/+1 counters on it.
Oh no, that's even worse than I thought. If it leaves the battlefield for any reason.
Yeah.
And the token has flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is bad.
So, yeah. Thought Lash. Thought Lash.
This might be Mythic just because it's so stupid.
For 2 and 2 blue, it's an enchantment. This one actually has cumulative upkeep of exile the top card of your library, and when a player doesn't pay Thought Lash's cumulative upkeep, that player exiles all cards from his or her library. Yeah. And then exile the top card of your library, prevent the next 1 damage that be dealt to you this turn. So it's kind of like Crumbling Sanctuary in that you stop taking damage, start losing cards from your library. But the fact that this also has cumulative upkeep, I do think that under the right circumstances, this could be a decently powerful card because it flips the game and can actually, like, all of a sudden gain you 20 life, essentially. But,
that is the appropriate response, yeah.
Yeah.
See, if it wasn't for it exiling things. This would be great in what was the guild?
Golgari?
Yeah, the Golgari.
If this just put them in the graveyard, it would be...
This would be an amazing card for the Golgari.
So you busted it
If this put them in the graveyard, I would own like 12 of them and have them all decks.
Chewy just listed a whole bunch of cards that recycle in blue your graveyard into your deck. So Thought Lash would be like a tier 1 card. Whew. Dirk, you scare me sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Is this card a... He's just
Only
like, yeah.
it said this instead of this.
Dirk's like,
That makes me think of, some of the things I've read about dream halls where they're like, just make them discard the card. They don't have to. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, that's a big difference.
So, is this Mythic as printed and not as in Dirk's warped mind hellscape?
I don't know.
No.
It's weird enough to be Mythic, but I don't know.
It could
feel like
be
it's
one
a
of those
weird-
weird mythics.
I feel like it's a red rare in blue, but it's probably it's probably a little better than that. Maybe I'm underestimating this. I think maybe I might have been intimidated by the block of text, which honestly happened to me a couple times doing this. Diminishing returns, yes. Thought Lash is like the junior varsity. It's the B team. Because you know what isn't Mythic? Title control.
Another hate card.
Another hate card.
Gosh, but these hate cards, this is back when hate cards were brutally vicious.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dirk, what's title control do? And read the Oracle text.
Yeah. It's got a cumulative upkeep of two colorless.
Generic,
sorry.
That's okay.
Pay 2 life or 2 generic. Counters target red or green spell. Any player may activate this ability.
Whew. Hey, everybody, let's all hate those people.
Yeah, if you were playing a red or green deck and this was how you just thought, well, might as well go ahead and scoop now because this is not going to be a fun game for me.
And well, it's got a cumulative upkeep of 2. And by the way, it costs 1 and 2 blue to put it out, and it is an enchantment. So,
Did we read Royal Decree in white?
I don't think we bothered.
Yeah, for 2 white, it's an enchantment with cumulative upkeep of 1 white. Whenever a swamp, mountain, black permanent, or red permanent becomes tapped, Royal Decree deals 1 damage to that permanent's controller.
This is like Karma, but worse.
Yeah.
And by worse, I mean, ow.
Yeah, by worse, you mean both ways, because it's got cumulative upkeep, so it's bad, but it's more brutal.
Yeah,
It's
it
more
does lands
brutal.
and permanents in 2 colors.
In 2 colors. Yeah. Buh. How to make Magic not fun. Anyway.
So we've got definitely 2 white ones and probably 2 blue ones.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's stop this trend and go to black.
Yeah. So black. So red.
So
No,
the big one in black that was hyped throughout all of Wizards' advertisements and whatnot was Ritual of the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Which again made me love this card back then. For 2 black sorcery. Let me read the Oracle text just to make sure. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice a creature. Gain control of target non-artifact, non-black creature. It's a terror that is a control magic.
I thought the more on point. Oh, no, never mind. I was thinking of Ray of Command, but for some reason I thought that was a black card.
No, Ray of Command is eventually what turned into Threaten.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, but it was originally blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry.
But yeah, this is, and it's not until end of turn, so it's a control magic, but there's not a control magic to disenchant.
Yeah.
So it's just yours. Now this was not a thing back in the day, man. You either had it until end of turn or there was an enchantment on it that was vulnerable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to sacrifice a creature to get it, and it had the non-black and non-artifact restriction.
Right.
But yeah, so like at the time I read this, I was like, Jesus! It's like I've got all these stupid black creatures that I don't care about. Like Nether Shadow, even when I was young. I loved Nether Shadow.
Just a wee chewy.
Oh, I didn't even have a beard.
You know,
Mhm.
Ritual of the Machine was at the top of the maybe list for me.
I think that's the one with the best chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not think any of these other black cards are mythic, and I really mean that this time. I don't think anything confused me. I just think it all made me sad.
Will reading another ridiculous hate card make you feel better?
It might. So,
Try that.
all right, I will read Dystopia in the hopes that perhaps it will lift my spirits. For 1 and 2 black, it's an enchantment. It has cumulative upkeep of paying 1 life. It doesn't require any mana whatsoever, but it's going to kill you. And at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a green or white permanent. So, yeah. I don't... It's clearly not mythic. Nothing about this screams mythic. And as far as a hate card, it feels like it could be pretty brutal against the right deck.
Mm-hmm.
But even against green or white decks, if they're able to get out more permanents than you can handle, then this is going to kill you. But this is probably also why it doesn't require any mana investment beyond the original.
Well, cumulative upkeep is always optional.
Oh, that's
So if
true.
there comes a point where you're like, I'm done, you can be done.
Yeah.
Thought Lash does not give you that option.
Well, it does. You just lose the next turn.
It's like, I'm done. It's like, yes, you are done.
Oh wait, no, you lose that turn because it's
Yeah,
upkeep.
because it happens during your upkeep.
Oh
Oh,
god.
that's true. Ooh. And then I'll go to draw my... Oh, shoot. So that is a good point. You can always choose not to do
Good
this.
thing my
But,
Ivory Gargoyle died last turn.
but then really, if you're not getting much use out of it, then what good is it anyway?
Yeah.
So, Oh, dude, Dystopia with Ivory Gargoyle on the field is kind of funny.
But yeah, I mean, like, even
They're
if you
both
just end up
monsters.
putting even if you just end up paying for the cumulative upkeep twice, that's 3 life, and you've gotten 3 permanents, which is a
Sure,
good
because
exchange.
You don't have... The first time is basically free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's better than I thought, but it's still not mythic.
It's still not mythic, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. But no, that's fine. So what about this here Fatal Lore?
This
You
is
know,
another
knowledge,
card.
knowledge is power, and power will kill you, apparently.
This is another card that I really love, even though I know it's not great.
Hmm.
And it's sort of like Library of Latnam again. It's
It
pretty
is.
weird. For 2 black, Oracle text. Hang on. For 2 black, an opponent chooses one. It's a sorcery. You draw 3 cards, or you destroy up to 2 target creatures that player controls. They can't be regenerated. That player draws up to 3 cards.
It's nifty.
It is nifty.
But-
Sorry for blowing up your things. Here's some cards.
Exactly.
But once again, they're just going to choose whatever is the best option for them.
Yeah. Like, I've got this zombify effect in hand, so sure.
Yeah.
I'll take the cards, please.
So yeah, it's not mythic. It's
So-
fun, it's not good.
Yeah. And then the next one is Keeper of Tressorhorn. And I remember playing against Keeper of Tressorhorn when I was a newer player and being like, hey, that's pretty cool. So I made myself reread it now to see if I still thought it was amazing. And I'm like, I still get it. I get what we're doing here, but I don't. But no.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically a 2/6 with Death Touch.
Yeah. Which, for 6 mana.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, what's the full text of it?
The full Oracle text is.
Is it a keeper?
No, it's an avatar.
Oh, okay.
Keeper is no longer supported creature type.
I figured. I just didn't know what it was. I thought maybe it would be a demon.
Yeah, for 5 and a black, it's a 6/6 avatar. And whenever it attacks and isn't blocked, it assigns no combat damage this turn, and the defending player loses 2 life.
Which is pretty sick.
I mean, you know, a loss of life can be very different from damage, but it costs 6. So,
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a rare in this set. Is that even right? Just a second.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, apparently it was. I thought it was a... I might have some of these in my common box in my...
which is never a good sign for a Mythic Conscription discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't common. So, anyway, it looks all neat and nifty, but, just don't block it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Okay. And then there's the Krovikan Horror, which Chewy is very familiar with.
Yeah, I don't like this card either. But I used to use it because back in the day this was harder to come by.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a horror spirit because it's see-through in the art, I guess.
Yep.
But it's a 2/2 for 3 and a black. At the beginning of the end step, if it's in your graveyard with a creature card directly above it, it can come back to your hand. Meh. And you can pay 1 and sack a creature to ping something.
Woo!
Yay.
And it doesn't have haste. It doesn't have haste.
Well, it goes back to your hand.
Well, it goes to your hand anyway, so.
So you have to recast the damn thing.
But unlike the Ashen Ghoul or the what's the little
Nether
one?
Shadow.
Nether Shadow. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mythic?
No.
No.
I mean, it
All right.
does keep coming back, but that's not Mythic. All right, let's go to red.
So just quickly, in white we had 2 fairly solid
Yep.
Mythics. In blue, we had one that we're pretty sure about, and then one that we're fairly close on, but it's getting tougher. And then we get into black, and we're like, okay, Ritual, and we're done.
Yeah, I guess Ritual. I mean, of the 5, I guess
Mm-hmm.
it is
Yes.
the most mythic. Even though it's, I guess because of black, it might have been mythic at the time. Maybe.
But it's still, so you can tell we're having a harder time. Guess what?
Yeah.
When it gets to red, it's not easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Do you remember where the hype was in red for this set?
Was it the Horde?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, the Valdivian Horde.
dude.
There was mega hype over Valdivian Horde.
Okay, now
Which it's funny because it's been reprinted. so.
Take yourselves back, dear listeners, to a time when creatures were bad.
I've got my eyes closed.
Like they're god awful bad. And one of the best creatures in the game, no kidding, was the mighty Juzam Jin. Mike, stats on Juzam Jin?
5/5 for 4.
And at the beginning of your upkeep, what? You
Take a damage.
take a damage.
Yep.
Which is still not enough for how good that card was. It had a negligible drawback. And it was easily one of the best creatures in the game at the time. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. This is not sarcasm.
Yeah. Remember, at that time, it was also immune to terror.
Yes.
So that helped.
Like they're playing Swords to Plowshares or they're throwing 2 lightning bolts at it. So then comes Balduvian Horde. A 5/5 for 4 that doesn't have an upkeep cost. And Inquest, at the very least, lost its damn mind. Because it's a 5/5 for 2 red. And when it enters the battlefield, you sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random. And the mindset was, you lose 1 card to get a Juzam Jin that doesn't hit you in red. Holy crap. So yeah, that's how bad creatures were.
So do you think then that this would have been mythic given the hype around it?
Would they have tried to...
I don't know.
I mean, you got to have marquee cards to sell the set. And if this is one that, under the environment in which the card was released, would this have been mythic? Because this was like my question mark.
Maybe? Like, I honestly, I can't do it. I can't put myself back. Like, looking at it now, it's a joke. I mean, it's a good creature, but it's not a good creature, you know?
They reprinted it in Masters Edition. Which one?
I mean, it's not even...
Yeah, the first Masters Edition online. It was also in 6th edition. Oh, with the same art. How about that?
And it wasn't a mythic in Masters, which I think had the mythic rarity.
God, it looks really stupid with a white border.
Man, I bet.
I've been seeing this card since... When was this printed? When was this?
What was the line? Since 1996?
Wow, so I've been seeing this card with a black border for 21 years, if that's the right date.
Mm-hmm.
And I just flipped over to the 6th edition, and it, like, actually hurt my eyes. And kind of turned my stomach a little. Like, Anyway. Well, of course, I mean, they wouldn't make it Mythic in the reprint, because it's not Mythic now.
Right.
But you
would
know,
have been Mythic at the time.
bringing up the whole marquee card thing, you know, it's possible.
Let's look at the rest of the cards in red, shall we?
I guess. I mean,
And see what we have
we
to deal
don't
with.
really need to go through them all.
I don't think we do.
Because, like, especially these are just bad.
Chaos Harlequin, no.
No.
Omen of Fire is another silly...
Brutal hate card.
Hate
There's also
card.
the cover of an Inquest that was really cool.
Was it Inquest or Duelist?
It was Inquest, because I didn't read Duelist.
Okay. No, check this out. Omen of Fire is an instant for 3 red. An instant. Return all islands to their owner's hands. Each player sacrifices a plains or a white permanent for each white permanent he or she controls.
Yeah,
Well.
seems good.
End of turn, screw you.
Yeah. But Mythic, no.
No. Rogue Sky Captain is a weird dude who keeps going back and forth between each player.
Yeah. He's kind of funny. I kind of want to play him in a Commander game just for the lulz.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, And then the Varchild's War Riders is very much like Trojan Horse, but much worse.
A Crowan horse, yeah.
A Crowan Horse, thank you. You knew what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Balduvian Horde, because bad choices?
Because they might have bought into their own hype, yeah.
Yeah. I could see...
And it was a legitimately very efficient creature if you're just talking about mana versus stats. But
if
the discard is more impactful than it might sound at first glance.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's random.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
If they-
Definitely because
I
it's
don't
random.
know if Balduvian Horde ever saw any sort of serious play, but if it didn't, it's because of the discard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the time, I wasn't into that sort of thing, so I have no idea.
So let's say that could be Mythic.
I know it was popular in the all-in red decks, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't and the world changed the game level of play.
Right. So yeah, I mean, the Horde is the only one we even looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest are either bad or stupid or both.
Yeah. Dirk, you want to add anything for red?
No.
Okay.
I love that disdain Dirk manages to work into one word sometimes.
Well then,
I'm just.
well then, let's go to your favorite color, Dirk. Certainly, you can lead us through green and tell us.
God. I mean, nothing.
You thought red was as bad as it got. Dirk, what do you like in green here? What's Mythic?
I have to be honest. I went through these and was like, no.
Hey, imagine that.
I mean, Kesa, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, is she the only legend in this set?
No, Lord of
She's the
Tressorhorn.
only monocolored legend.
Yeah.
Feldegriff is legendary.
Yeah, it is.
And it's totally not monocolored. Like, even slightly. What about the Gargantuan Gorilla? It's kind of, like, intimidating.
Yeah. After you finish reading it, it's actually pretty interesting.
Interesting is the right word. Good is maybe not applicable.
Yeah. Okay, I think the gorilla needs to be red, though.
Okay.
Like, Case is easy. She's a 5-mana 2/3. All green creatures you control get +1/+1. Which at the time is actually a different thing, right? Because it says you control.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right.
Huh.
That's right. It only affects stuff you control. That's pretty unusual for an Anthem effect at that time.
And she's an elf druid. She's an elf?
Yeah.
Oh.
At that time, it was just legend, is what it says.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, in the story, she is an elf druid, so.
Okay.
Now she gets those creature types.
Nice.
And notice the way she's written, she affects herself. So she's really a 3/4.
Oh, she is really a 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's better. Huh. Okay. So we'll put her on the maybe just because legend and somewhat novel effect. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, read the
The
gorilla.
effect is
though.
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, and it's not all green creatures get +1/+1, or like
Like Crusade or Badman or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Because Glorious Anthem wasn't a thing yet, right?
No, it wasn't. Glorious Anthem, again, showed up in Urza Saga.
Okay.
Yeah, Urza Block had a lot of callbacks to old stuff. Except to like, yeah, let's make it better. And sometimes they did make it better. And sometimes they made a horrible decision.
Okay, so yeah, read the gorilla.
Okay, so the gorilla. For 4 and 3 green, it is a 7/7 ape. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a forest. If you sacrifice a snow forest this way, the gorilla gets trample until end of turn. But if you don't sacrifice a forest, you sacrifice the gorilla and it deals 7 damage to you. So it's like a Lord of the Pit that only likes eating forests. But it has an ability that's basically tap to fight something. Except under some circumstances, it won't work exactly the same way. But that's what it does. It can tap to fight something. Yeah, I mean, you can have a 7/7 with trample. Trample really didn't show up that often naturally, and effects didn't give it. So trample was hard to come by.
But that required very specific type of forest.
Yeah, you had to toss a snow forest, right? But even without that, it has that fight ability and 7 power and 7 toughness, so it's going to be able to kill a lot of stuff. You know, eventually you are going to run out of forests, and then it's going to punch you instead. But hopefully you're able to get some use out of it in the meantime.
I wonder why they haven't updated it to say it fights another target creature.
Because of the way it's written, so it says Gargantuan Gorilla deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. And that's the end of that sentence. Then it starts another sentence. That creature deals damage equal to its power to Gargantuan Gorilla. The way it's written, those are actually sequential events. So there are dumb corner cases, and pretty much all of them involve either wither or infect, where the order matters.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second. What did we say about Kesa?
Probably.
Yeah, we realized that she actually is novel at the time because she says all green creatures you control, which was not the way that worked back then. And she's also a 3/4 because of that. Yeah. And then we just got done reading Gargantuan Gorilla and we realized that it's silly. I don't know if it's mythic. It's definitely huge and throws trees at people.
Mm-hmm.
Snowy trees.
Preferably, yeah.
No, eating snowy trees makes it extra mad. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it has to eat trees, but if it gets some snow on there, then it turns into Winston's ultimate. Got it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it could maybe be mythic because it is a 7/7 for 7, which at the time is like, whoa.
And it does have the fight thing, which was not a thing at the time.
Yeah, and being 7/7, having a fight ability basically says tap kill that.
Yeah.
Basically.
And because it costs 3 green to play, it's not like you're going to like stop running out of forests to feed it right away.
Yeah.
All right. You know, I think I'm down with that being mythic.
Maybe.
Big splashy goes. It's kind of got an epic sounding name to it. It's not just a gorilla. It's a gargantuan gorilla. You know what is not mythic? Splintering wind. Oh.
So weird.
I
I don't even remember what this does.
Well, you should read the Oracle text then.
Okay. 2 green for an enchantment. Okay. So that's the mana cost. It has an ability. 2 and a green. Splintering Wind deals 1 damage to target creature. Create a 1/1 green splinter creature token. It has flying and cumulative upkeep a green. When it leaves the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to you and each creature you control. So if you have more than one of these out and one of them dies, they all die.
Yes.
Unless you have
And they shoot
Pesa
all your
out.
and they shoot all your stuff full of needles.
I mean, it's kind of hilarious.
I'm loving Brian's
terrible.
giggling over there. Wow, this is bad. So for every 1 damage you do, you get a splinter that might cause you to lose all your stuff. Oh, and it might also kill you. It says you and each creature you control.
Yeah.
Wow, this is bad on so many levels.
Yeah, I really like having costs that eventually you're unable to pay and you have to lose the card. That's fine. I really don't like cards where, okay, that's not true. It's not true that I don't like cards that do what I'm about to say because you guys know me. But cards that say, okay, when you're unable to pay this cost, you're completely screwed.
The only way to avoid losing to this card is to play it and then not activate it, at which point...
Yeah, why'd you bother?
Yeah. So... Do I like that it exists on some level? Yes, for the humor potential. Is it mythic? Wow. No.
And because it creates tokens that are named Splinter, it causes stupid contrived corner case rules problems that involve the spell that's called Splinter.
Wow.
But those situations never actually happen unless someone is specifically trying to make it happen.
Yeah, let's not worry about that. Anything else in green?
My head hurts.
No. Do you think reading a crazy hate card will make it feel better?
Maybe.
I'm good. For Chewy, yeah.
I'll read it, yeah. All right. Nature's Wrath. For 4 green, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay a green. So it's just an upkeep, not cumulative. Whenever a player puts an island or blue permanent onto the battlefield, he or she sacrifices an island or blue permanent.
A swamp or blue permanent. Wait, no, okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
and then the same again for swamp or black permanent.
That's weird. It switches the order. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, the printed version, the abilities are in a different order than the Oracle version.
That's just weird. It doesn't change the way it works at all, but...
Well, it's because weird. I'm guessing the Wooburg order thing for the Oracle text.
This is incredibly punishing. I think the only thing that saves it from being over the top is that it costs 6.
Yeah. But hey, for every one of their lands or permanents you blow up, you're bringing them closer to Doom. Because, like, if they've got a total of 10 permanents out, then they can play a new one and get rid of a lesser one. But if you blow one up, now they've only got a pool of 9 to work with. And if you blow something else up, they've only got 8 to work with.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wow. Huh. Okay, so green has maybe 2?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. Okay. So there's only 5 gold cards. These should be easy.
Should be.
Because Wandering Mage is no.
I kind of thought Wandering Mage was interesting.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's not mythic.
It's very versatile.
Wandering Mage is a very Brian card.
Aha. That's it.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So let me just do this real quick. I don't know that it's mythic, but
Wait,
so for 1 Esper, for a white, a blue, and a black, it is a 0/3 human cleric wizard. It's got 3 abilities. Pay a white and pay 1 life. Prevent the next 2 damage to be dealt to target creature this turn. Okay. Pay a blue. Prevent the next 1 damage to be dealt to target cleric or wizard creature this turn. And finally, pay a black and put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. Prevent the next 2 damage to be dealt to target player this turn. So I like how it lets you selectively choose what you want to protect. I don't know that it's mythic. It's one of these things where none of these abilities on its own is really very powerful, but having the ability to do any of them in a pinch with the right mana is kind of cool. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's a very interesting card, but I don't think it's a mythic card.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything special enough.
The things it does are just not. Okay. I can certainly live with that. I wasn't going to push too hard for it. I was just kind of.
The things it does are trying to be so well balanced in and of themselves that.
I think I just hadn't really seen this before, and I was like, So I put it down on my list of maybes. But what do you think about Lord of Tressorhorn? I thought this one.
Good, buddy.
Yeah, Lord of Tressorhorn will always have a special place in my heart.
Okay.
Because he's just awesome. Because you get 10 power for 4 mana. For 1, blue, black, red. It's a legendary zombie. And he's a 10-4.
Good.
And like Chewy said, they actually, he used to be like a 9-4 or something. But in development, they changed him to 10-4 so they could make that joke. So,
that is
when Lord of Tressorhorn enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life, you sacrifice 2 creatures, and target opponent draws 2 cards. Then he has another ability. For 1 black, you can regenerate Lord of Tressorhorn.
So if he gets out, he doesn't get bounced or exiled or dealt with any other way, then he's going to be crushing inevitability for your opponent because it's a 10-4 with regenerate.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have trample.
No.
That would be stupid.
But he's going to get there eventually anyway because he's going to kill anything that blocks him. And eventually they're just going to run out of blocker.
Yeah, you have to pay. Like, you have to pay so much for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's 4 mana, but... And it's when he enters the battlefield, so even if you cheat him out, it doesn't matter.
There's no reason to cheat him out.
Yeah, exactly, because he's already cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're right. Whatever spell or other effect you use is going to cost 4 or more.
Right.
unless you're using like reanimate. But
this is not one where it's a high mana cost, and by cheating it out, you're saving yourself resources. This is a low mana cost with lots of other built-in costs.
Yeah, and by cheating him out, nothing.
Yeah, the only reason to cheat him out would be is if you're running a monocolor deck. Like if you were running a black deck, you're like, I really want to play with this guy, but I don't want to run other colors.
And see, here I thought he meant like mono white cats, and I'm like, I guess.
You know, Brian, you don't have to give away my new deck idea.
But
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Is this mythic?
I'm gonna put him in the maybe category.
might be
He might be?
Yeah, I'm
just because of those ridiculous stats.
I'm feeling a strong maybe.
I don't know if it's a strong maybe for me, but it's definitely a maybe.
Yeah.
Huh. Alright then.
Like his stuff is way better than some of the other ones we've seen in terms of drawbacks. The drawbacks are like, yeah, I can understand the drawback. And those are doable ones.
Huh. Alright then. That's the Lord, maybe.
Yeah.
Misfortune is another of those opponent chooses one and
Yeah,
Not
it's really
mythic.
only
Yeah.
no. And with the way, like, actually, it's a lot easier to see how the different effects could be balanced, but the card is only really worthwhile when you're even on board with your opponent.
yeah.
Because
so,
if it's out of whack in either way, then it's pretty easy for them to do the math and figure out which is better.
yeah,
Right.
so it's for 1 and a Jund, black, red, green. So 4 mana. Target opponent, Oracle text. Target opponent chooses one. An opponent chooses one. You get a +1/+1 counter on each of your creatures and gain 4 life, or they get a -1/-1 counter on each of their creatures and take 4 damage. Nice and balanced and neat. Not mythic.
Right.
No.
Winter's Night is I had to read this twice. Oh, it's an enchant world. I didn't even see that. Wow.
Basically, it's a mana flare for snow-covered swamps, snow-covered lands,
Except
But-
not?
but not because it also keeps them tapped.
Yeah,
course.
so they get one extra mana whenever everyone gets one extra mana whenever a snow mana is tapped, or snow land is tapped. But then it doesn't untap next turn.
Right.
And it costs a red, a white, and a green. So it's a world. I did not realize it was a world enchantment at all. That's weird. I don't like it. And then there's Feldegriff, and everyone who plays Group Hug is like, mythic. I don't know, man. I don't think so.
It's good. These are actually pretty powerful abilities.
I think I put it in the maybe category too.
It's hard for me. I'm staying out of this one because it's too hard for me to separate what I think about it now versus what it would have been at the time. Although, if I'm gonna have to come down on the side, legendary. It's one of 3 legends in the set, so that does stand out to me. It's not like we've got legends here and legends there and legends in your hair. So,
But I say it's not like it's Kamigawa block.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. He's a weird one, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, for those that don't know, it's 1 and... What is this? My brain
Band.
just... Band. 1 and a band. 1, a green, a white, and a blue. For a legendary creature, Feldegriff. Huh. So, pay a green, and he gets trample until end of turn, and target opponent gets a 1/1 green hippo. For a white, he gains flying until end of turn, and target opponent gains 2 life. And for a blue, you can bounce him to your hand, and target opponent may draw a card. So, yeah, he was the centerpiece of the Group Hug flavor of Commander deck. It might still be, for all I know. But because all of his abilities, his Group Hug, all of his abilities give your opponents something.
Yeah.
Which was the point of a Group Hug deck, was everybody else gets to have fun, and in return, you don't kill me. So yeah, I think the Lord and the Feldegriff are probably solid maybes. Sure. All right, we've been at this forever. How about the cycle of lands? So each one is associated with a color, and you have to sacrifice a land. Only some of them say untapped. In fact, only
Just the Balduvian trading posts and the excavations.
The
say
Soldavia
untapped.
excavation. So the blue and the red one require you to sack an untapped land. The rest just say sack a land of whatever type.
I guess it's because they make 2 mana, but the others only make 1.
Oh, they do, don't they? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the trading post taps for 1 and a red, or you pay 1 and tap it to deal 1 damage to an attacking creature. The green one taps for green mana, or taps to give a target creature +1/+1. We'll skip those 2. The blue one taps for 1 and a blue, or 1 and tap. Look at the top card of your library. Wow, is that Scry 1?
Yes, Scry 1.
Yep.
Oh, it is. It has been reworded to Scry 1. Nice. Okay,
Hey,
that
look
one's
at
actually
that.
really good.
Yes.
But then the 2 big ones are Lake of the Dead, which taps for black, or tap and sacrifice a swamp for 4 black mana.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you have to sack a
Ritual's
swamp,
fine.
right? It's not like
Yeah.
it's Dark Ritual, and Dark Ritual's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't say untapped swamp, by the way.
Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah. And then the big one at the time that saw all kinds of play, the Kildoran Outpost, which taps for... You have to sack a plains, of course. Taps for white, or 1 and a white and tap to get us a 1/1 soldier. And this one was killer.
And, I mean, it's iconic enough that one of the double-faced cards in Ixalan references this card. So
Right.
here we are, 21 years later, and people see that and they go, oh, it's an outpost. So
Yeah. Adanto, the First Fort, is a callback to this.
Right.
that's legendary. the fort is not the outpost, but that again goes to show. So,
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think that the cycle is mythic. In fact, I don't know if any of these are mythic. But the land that made a creature every turn, nowadays this is relatively common. It was not back then, and that's why this card was such a killer. It was in control decks forever.
I wouldn't say this is relatively common now.
Well,
'Cause
okay.
It's been done other times since then.
Yeah, it's been done many times since then, especially since we've been playing.
Yeah, but it had never been done before this, and I don't think it's ever been done again for 2 mana and tap.
What about... Oh.
Unless you're talking about something like Ink Moth or Blink Moth Nexus that actually turn into the creature themselves instead of making one.
What about that Selesnya land? What did it do?
4.
Jesus, it was 4?
It was 4.
Wow,
But it was still
busted.
powerful.
Yeah.
Vitugazi, the city tree.
City tree, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I didn't mean common as in the rarity in Magic. I mean common as in how frequently we've seen it. But you're right, it hasn't been super frequent.
And I knew that's what you meant.
No, I was clarifying for the listeners, not you.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's relatively busted. The Lake of the Dead is kind of busted just because of the insane ramp you can get out of it.
Yeah, because you tap one swamp, so you have one. You play Lake of the Dead, you sacrifice the one you tapped. You tap another swamp, that's 2. You tap Lake of the Dead and sack the other swamp. You tap. Now you have 6. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you've wrecked your land base, but hopefully whatever you're making this mana for will make up for it.
Yeah.
one would think.
It's nuts. So but for a cycle like this, I don't want to make like 1 or 2 of them mythic, and the rest of them are good in their own way, but not like busted like those 2.
Right.
Yeah.
There are 2 more lands.
Sheltered Valley and the Thawing Glaciers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sheltered Valley is not.
Yeah, it's just kind of dumb.
And Thawing Glaciers, Mike.
Man, I love Thawing Glaciers.
We know you do.
It might be. Okay, Maze's End was mythic for multiple reasons. So that's not a clean comparison.
Yeah. I got nothing for this one. I am tainted by all of you, by you using it so much, to where I fear this card. But
yeah. So to recap, Thawing Glaciers enters the battlefield tapped. You can pay 1 and tap it to search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, shuffle, and then you return Thawing Glaciers to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next cleanup step.
Yep. It's kind of nuts. But again, I don't know if it's really nuts or if I'm just remembering Mike using it so much that I'm afraid of it. So I got nothing.
Maybe. I know my view of it is warped for the same reason.
Yeah. Well, balls.
Yeah.
Dirk, you alive?
I can.
I think it's safe to say that Mike has completely screwed us on this card.
Kinda, yeah.
With the average person back then, I don't think it would be.
Like, I do think that some of them are inherently better than others. So you can't consider all of them to be mythic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to...
Well, I mean,
But as a whole, they are real good.
Yeah, the Thawing Glaciers isn't part of the cycle, though.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true.
It ranks up there with them as in general that these lands are real good. I mean, you can scry. You can go look for more lands.
Floor wax, dessert topping.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make creatures,
But-
make mana.
sacrifice a land and get a better.
2 land enter, 1 land leave. No, wait, that's something else. All
I take
right.
this land and I split it into 4 pieces.
So if you have an opinion on thawing glaciers, dear listeners, let us know because we literally cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the artifacts.
Um,
Uh,
Storm Cauldron, yes. The others,
Really?
really?
no. Storm Cauldron for 5 mana. Each player may play an additional land during each of his or her turns. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, return it to its owner's hand. You don't think that's mythic?
Mm.
No.
Fundamentally changes the way the game is played.
That's true.
Fundamentally.
That's true.
In 2 ways, both having to deal with lands, but still.
But instead of making the game like more nuts, it kind of in a lot of situations it makes the game weirder and more difficult to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's game changing in a mythic way.
Yeah, it's okay. It does not work like this at all, but it strikes me as very similar to telepathy. You know, everyone plays with their hand revealed, which means everyone's afraid to do stuff. Like, you know, it feels like this is the type of card that would make several turns pass with nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we can
And,
get
yeah,
lots
we
of
know that.
mana out.
We know that from experience.
Yeah, just so we can all get lots of mana out. And then, but now we're all afraid to cast things because we'll have to bounce all our land and start over.
Yeah.
And then, and we have things on the board, but now we can't react to anything. Like, I don't know.
Even if you are able to make a big turn, then you have to spend multiple turns building back up to being able to do something again.
Yeah, and that's the only reason that I'm not jumping on the this is mythic because it fundamentally alters the game because it doesn't because it's dumb.
Are there other artifacts you think could be mythic?
Helm of Obedience.
Yeah, the helm was the artifact that got lots of press and inquest and whatnot.
Okay.
And I think it's also just that powerful in that way.
I mean, it is pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you read it then? You're
So
smart.
cost 4 is an artifact, has an ability, pay X and tap. Okay. Target opponent puts cards from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard until a creature card or X cards are put into that graveyard this way, whichever comes first. If a creature card is put into that graveyard this way, you sacrifice the helm, and you put that card onto the battlefield under your control, and X can't be 0. So you start milling whichever player you choose until you either get to X or you get to a creature. You get to a creature, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this one either, but it might just be because I'm tired.
I don't think it would qualify as mythic now, but I think it could have been then.
Okay, but it's sort of like Ritual of the Machine. It's another gimme that, and there's nothing they can do about it to get it back.
Yeah.
Because most of the gimme that effects at the time, if not all, were enchantment based or had limited duration.
Yeah, or it acts as a super millstone against creature light control decks.
That is also true. And any color could use it, which is, the reason that part of the reason that Ritual of the Machine is mythic is because it's black, or could be mythic is because it's black, and black just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But this is every color.
Yeah. I think it could be.
It could be. But the rest are kind of meh.
Yeah.
And by kind of meh, I meant like meh.
Yeah.
Maybe Phyrexian Portal for what it's doing.
Uh,
It's basically replicating a Solomon draft in the middle of a game. But of course, nowadays no one knows what that is because people don't do it anymore.
well, Phyrexian Portal for 3 mana artifact has the ability pay 3, If your library has 10 or more cards in it, target opponent looks at the top 10 cards of your library and separates them into 2 face-down piles. Exile one of those piles, search the other pile for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle the rest of that pile into your library. That's weird. I mean, I get what they're doing, but... Mike, what is it with you and cards that are going to destroy your own face?
I didn't say I liked it or that it was any good.
I don't know. I feel like it might be too janky.
Yeah, I do agree. It's super dumb and clunky.
Wait, how dumb and clunky?
Super dumb and clunky.
Oh, right.
Hmm.
Yeah. I remember there was, going back to my experiences with these cards and Inquest, there was a land destruction deck that played Lodestone Bauble. I thought it was hilarious. Lodestone Bauble for 0 is an artifact. You pay 1 tap and sacrifice it. Oracle text. Put up to 4 target basic land cards from a player's graveyard on top of his or her library in any order. And then that player draws a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. But essentially what it says is, like, I've been blowing up your land, and now you don't ever get to draw new cards.
Yeah.
Because I keep putting your lands back on top, so you can't find new things to do to me. Just keep drawing land. Nah. I don't think it's great, but it was hilarious in that particular deck. But yeah, I are we done? I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
We are.
Alliance is, like, we spent a long time here because these cards are so bad that we felt the urge to read them to you. Like,
Oh, dude, Splintering Wind.
what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
So then, I got nothing. It is also extremely late for us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, we spent a decent amount of time on this, so I suppose we didn't really need anything else to talk about. So
Yeah, I guess not.
I will say,
Oh,
I'll go ahead and say for my final thought, because I am literally struggling to make sure I'm staying awake. It's been a long day, but that it's been a pleasure working with you gentlemen for another calendar year, and I'm looking forward to going again in 2018. And if I'm being a little less, sappy, then everybody that hasn't seen The Last Jedi, like Mike, needs to go and see The Last Jedi. Mike.
Right?
So, and I know that it's gotten some polarizing reactions from people, and I like the fact that it's sparked a lot of discussion. That in and of itself is great, that people are talking about Star Wars and whether or not they like it. That's pretty cool. So, but not to be too selfish, I'm going to go ahead and go now. Oh, and I did want to say really quickly, because I promised I would mention this in the episode, that I did receive an email from Stark Maximum regarding the Final Fantasy TCG and a game on Steam, or I think an app might be another way to put it, that would allow me to play, because it's kind of like a sandbox version for TCGs.
Yeah, Tabletop Simulator is really neat.
Right. And I'm going to look into that, and I'm going to send them an email, but I did want to address it on the episode, so if anyone had any interest in that. Again, it's, what's the name of it again? Because I don't have the email up in front of me right now, but it's Tabletop
Simulator.
Right. So, all right, now I'm going to go to sleep. You guys have a good night.
Night, man.
I'll be next.
Regarding Star Wars, before both of you leave, regarding Star Wars, I also like that it sparked a lot of controversy because it gives me more nerd rage to laugh at.
And one must always laugh at nerd rage.
Hey, Brian's still here. Good. I'm glad you heard that.
Yeah. Well, I heard you say it before you leave, but now I'm leaving. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. We did talk about a little bit that, whether we liked it or did not like it. And I think for the most part, we actually kind of liked it.
Yeah,
And
all three of us that
I
have
would
seen it
consider
like it.
I consider myself to be a bit of a Star Wars connoisseur to some extent, and there are a lot of parts that I liked about it. There are a few things I was like, but when I one of the YouTube channels I watch is Star Wars Explained, And there were a few things he pointed out in the video, and I'm going, oh yeah, that's right. There were a few of those times when stuff happened. But yeah, I'm trying to not be specific and be very ambiguous for you, Mike.
Also for the listeners.
And for the listeners. So in other words, when we come back next year, please, please, please have seen this movie so that all of us can not be still in the 2-week hiatus of yes, we've all have a common understanding of you cannot talk about this movie for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I'm sorry, you've had the time.
I don't agree with that at all. I just
How long
don't.
do you think it should be? 1 week?
No, I think you should be, for things like this that are huge that can totally be spoiled, I think you should just not talk about spoiler things anywhere in public or on social media for a very long time.
But I want to talk about it.
Well, then talk about it when we're not recording and Mike's not here. Don't go putting spoilers on your Facebook page or I'll come to your house and poke you in the eye, because I know where you live. You're not that far away.
Nah, I'm too lazy to do that.
To get poked in the eye? You're damn right.
Not put anything on social media. That means that I actually have to have people I like to talk to online.
Oh, those people suck.
Aside from you guys.
Aw, yay.
I look at Facebook. Last year, whenever we would podcast and do our stuff, I actually used to be on Facebook a lot. have not been on Facebook very much this year at all. Like when we podcast, that is literally the only time I get on Facebook, and that's just for a little bit. And yeah, unfortunately, my life is just a little too busy for me to be getting on. Like, let me do Facebook for an hour.
I just don't care what other people are doing.
Mm.
Does that make me a terrible person? I guess I'm
Absolutely.
a terrible person.
But I am looking forward to the new year. I am very appreciative. I'm very thankful that you guys are here, that I get to talk with you guys and get to socialize and do this show with you guys. And I look forward to the new year and to continue this on. And I think 500 is coming up here in the not too distant future. So hopefully we'll discuss something about that. I don't know. As long as it's not an early April, hint, sort of a episode.
Yeah. Not that there's anything special about early April.
Mm-hmm.
Eh.
Although I am hoping, since we all are a bit more local, that maybe we can, sometime in the new year, early new year, get together and do another round of Magic.
That would be ideal. People have been asking if we're going to play with any, unstable, and I'm like, I don't know.
Brian buys a bunch. I don't know.
Yeah,
Brian builds a couple decks.
Well, I mean,
unfortunately, I don't think...
If
none
somebody
of us are
buys
exactly
some
rolling in the dough.
Yeah, if somebody buys some for drafting purposes, that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So, by the way, listeners, for those of you that have asked, I don't know. It's hard enough for us to schedule time to get together, much less time to get together to do something specific.
Yeah.
And to build decks for it.
Well, I mean, it would be a limited thing. We wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to build an undeck just to go play with you guys. I love you to death, but I don't like silver bordered that much.
Yeah, I mean, I won a couple packs at the draft, and then I bought some more to have enough for a 2-person draft set, but that's it.
I haven't bought any. This is the worst season to say, hey, I got a great idea. I'm going to go buy some Magic cards. No. Maybe in a month or two, I'll be able to do that once I've, come back from the holiday season. Once my finances are back in order again.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I'm gonna head on. Head to bed.
Well then,
so later, y'all.
Have a good night, my friend. And in case we don't talk to you, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys too.
I'm sure I'll send you all messages on Christmas Day. Hey, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
All right. We'll talk to you later, guys.
Bye, Zerk.
All right.
What do you want? I mean, hey, Mike, how about you?
Let's see. I was thinking earlier about when we were wondering about what else we might do on the episode. You know, what I'm looking forward to the next year for Magic's like maybe I'll play more. Maybe I'll be motivated to play more. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to play more. That'd be nice.
Why are you roboting so hard?
Oh, I don't know. Probably because dumb reasons. Let's see. What's this doing? Let's close some stuff. Maybe something in the background started doing something.
I don't know.
No, seriously, close. Piece of crap. Okay.
But
yeah, I would like to play more Magic. I'm in the Friday Night Magic in forever. I used to be up there almost every week. You know, there are good reasons for it, but still, I do miss the opportunities. You know, like usual, it's been a while since the last time we all saw each other.
oh, you got a woman, so you lost all your nerd cred, so they won't let you into F&M.
Yeah, basically.
Lies.
It's still been an unusually long time since the last time Chewy and I hung out, just because. So we should plan on more of that in the new year. That'd be good.
I agree. That's bad when I've seen Bill more than I've seen you lately.
Yeah, that's weird.
Spoilers, Bill lives like an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
Mike lives like 20 minutes away with traffic.
Yeah. And that's, yeah, the 20 minutes includes, you know, putting my shoes on, walking to the car, starting the car, getting out of the parking lot, getting on the road, parking the car, knocking on Chewy's door, and then going inside.
Yeah. We're bad at this.
We are.
We are not good friends. Okay, wait, that didn't sound right. We're good friends, but we're not. I am not a good friend, and you are not a good friend.
We're not. What? Yeah, not good as in, you know, get good, scrub.
Oh, I'm a scrub.
Yeah, we need to get good. That's our problem.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, straightforward. Hopes.
Nice. Originally we were going to talk about, after we got done with alliances, we were going to spend some time making up stuff to talk about for like this year and what we hope for next year. And really, all I really hope for next year is that they don't have to ban cards in Standard. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Or ban people from Standard.
That I don't care about. They can do that all they want, especially if it's necessary.
But it'd be nice if they didn't have to.
Well, it would be nice if they didn't have to, but, you know.
Yes.
Human beings, you know, by and large, suck. So, you know, whatever. So wait, were you done?
Yes.
Oh, well then. Okay. You closed a bunch of stuff and I closed a bunch of stuff and the roboting stopped. So let me open my browser back up here. See, hey, say something.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, you're not roboting. Good. Must have been you. Way to go, Mike.
Yeah, it probably was.
So I got nothing, dude. I've been streaming dungeon runs on Hearthstone. Whenever I stream Hearthstone, it's dungeon running. Actually, when I stream Hearthstone, it's, oh crap, I'm going to drop a daily quest. Let me do that first. And then it's dungeon running. But I now have 3 successful dungeon runs with 3 different classes.
Ah, same here. I got another 2 recently.
And 2 of those are up on YouTube. I downloaded the stream and edited them up. The third one, I downloaded the stream, but due to driving and today, like I said, Bill and I ate Mexican food, saw Disaster Artist put together my desk. Then it was time to eat food and record this podcast. So, but yeah, we got I got it downloaded, so I just have to find the game that actually is the one that I won and then edit it up and make it what, because there's lots of staring at chat when I'm like, hey, what do you guys think? And then I have to look at chat and wait for it to catch up, and then wait for them to make a decision, and then wait for them to type it, and then wait for them to hit enter. And so that's a lot of crap to cut out. Like I'm talking like 2 and 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Of just, no, really, what do you guys think? Like, what do I take, guys? Hello? How long is the delay? What the hell? Like, but I really still love dungeon runs in Hearthstone. I think they're brilliant, and I can't wait for the next time I stream it. Like, that's really weird. It's usually streaming Hearthstone is the thing I do because I need to stream something and I enjoy Hearthstone. No, this is like I want to stream Hearthstone. And you can find that over on twitch.tv/themanapool. We also really need to stream more Killing Floor 2 before the holiday event ends, because all of the zombies have been replaced by horrible nightmare Christmas zombies. Like there's a zombie, I think it's called a husk. I don't remember the proper name for most of these things, but it's a fire zombie. It's got a big like pack on its back, and it shoots fireballs at you. In Christmas form, it's a snowman that shoots fireballs at you. And it's terrifying. And the weird little spidery things that we call spiders, they're called crawlers, I think, in game. They're these like terrible things made out of hands and presents. And it's really creepy when one jumps up at you and you're like, Jesus! The things with the knives for arms are like evil gingerbread men. Like, it's really disconcerting. Like, it's scarier than the normal zombies. Because it's like happy and Christmassy and will murder your face. Buh. And the final boss is Krampus, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, we really need to stream that again. But anyway, you can totally come to twitch.tv/themanapool. Keep an eye on social media. Whenever I go live, it auto tweets and puts up a message on the Manapool Facebook page, which is at the Manapool on Twitter and facebook.com/themanapool on Facebook. Or you could just actually go follow me on Twitch and click the get notifications. So whenever I go live, it'll actually tell you, as opposed to waiting for the third party thing to tweet something eventually, maybe. It's a little, sometimes it doesn't quite work. So yeah, if you really want to follow the stream, the best bet is to go hit follow and turn on notifications, and then it'll totally tell you when we're streaming. I say we because I stream with Bill and the Layer of Lore a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Over on YouTube, youtube.com/themanapool, I've been putting up the stream highlights of the successful dungeon runs. I still haven't had a day to just record between driving and family things, and today, hanging out with Bill to see a movie and to get my desk put together. I haven't had time to sit down and record, but I really want to play more Cuphead. I always want to play more Cuphead, and I really, really, really want to play more Typing of the Dead, but I just have to find the time to sit down and make that happen, which will hopefully be tomorrow. Now that I've said that, they'll call me for like 3 drives tomorrow. Yeah. I think I said that on Monday too. Hopefully tomorrow I can... Nope.
I was talking to Ashley a few days ago, and she happened to bring up and ask me, "Oh, has there been another Cuphead video?" It's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, sorry about that. The last one that went up was the one that I recorded to go up while I was on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how crazy things have been. I haven't had a chance to record more, and that is killing me, dude. I'm having like Cuphead DTs over here. So yeah, that's a plan for very soon. And that's, again, youtube.com/themanapool. You click subscribe, and you can click the little notification bell. It'll tell you when stuff goes up. Yeah, hell yeah. And then, of course, there's themanapool.com, where all the podcasts go. And there's also email. You can email us, dorks@themanapool.com. And there's also instagram.com/themanapool, which they seem to have fixed the back door that let me post pictures from a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Because now whenever I try to do it, I get a 405 error.
Oh.
Which is why nothing else has gone up on Instagram lately, because I'm trying to figure out a workaround that doesn't involve emailing myself pictures, downloading them into my phone in my email app, and then putting them on Instagram, because that's stupid.
Why is there not what? You can't just do it through a browser?
No. For some reason, they want it to be mobile only. The backdoor to do it on a browser is to, like in Chrome, you right click and inspect, and then you click on the little mobile thing and inspect, and then you refresh. And that makes it was working by making it think that you were a mobile device.
Yeah.
And then there was an upload button. But now when you do that, you upload, it gives you the window, you pick one, and you hit post, and it goes 405 error. I'm like, damn it.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why posting to Instagram from a PC is such a cardinal sin, but apparently it is. I guess I'm going to hell, Mike.
Instagram hell.
As long as it's not hell jail, I think we're good. or jail hell. I think
Yeah,
hell
jail hell was the jail hell was the worst one.
Okay.
That's what we decided. Hell jail is like whatever. I'm already in hell. I'm already in hell. You're gonna put me in jail? Fine. No, jail hell is a lot worse.
Wow. Anyway. Right. And, of course, if you want to help support what I do with all of the streaming and videos and podcasts, because also, I don't know if I don't ever mention it, but I do Monday Night Magic every week as well. So, there's that. If you want news and tournament results, that's where you can find us. We're on MTGcast. It's me and Clues and Squee. Or Bill. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was in my apartment today. It's weird. But over on Patreon, you can sign up to get early stuff. You get Mana Pool episodes, except for this one, because like I said, I'm just going to put this one up for everybody tomorrow in case there's traveling or something. People want something to listen to. Because otherwise it won't go up until Christmas Day. And that's stupid. So Christmas present for everybody. You get it a few days early. So there's early stuff, YouTube videos, and Mana Pool episodes. You can get the early stuff and the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool that is uncensored and unfiltered and is really only edited for personal information that accidentally sneaks out. And like you should have heard, listeners, the odds and ends of myself and Bill and Clues discussing how we were going to handle all of the drama in the MTG community and what the harassment and bullying thing and how to talk about it. That got intense. And people, once that odds and ends went up, people really enjoyed listening to us, actually debate the topic. Because on the podcast, we didn't want to be arguing with each other.
Uh-huh.
But in the odds and ends, we were definitely arguing with each other. And it was uncomfortable at the time. And it was uncomfortable as hell for me to listen to in editing, even at 1.5 speed when we were chipmunks.
Uh-huh.
It was still uncomfortable to listen to. And I'm like, you know what? I'm putting this up because this is how it is. And people really, really appreciated it. And that made me feel good. Like, oh, well, there you go then.
Mm.
So yeah, early stuff, odds and ends. And if you want, you can get the last tier, the highest tier, which is all of that stuff, and get your name on the end slate for all the videos that go up in each month that you support at that tier, and get your name read off on both podcasts. And to that end, I would like to thank the following exceedingly generous people. You know what? We're the Mana Pool. In fact, I would like to thank these exceedingly generous lifeguards. There we go. I'm finally going to make that branding decision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the $20 tier, your lifeguards. The following Mana Pool lifeguards: Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Paul David, Lance Delicious, Timu Hellas Haryu, John Morris, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Bosco Bertain, Casey, Nathan Hay, AJ Javieres, Cody Buckawing, Jacob Jansens, Jason Kaus, Gothic Man, that's Patrick, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum, Dan Holm, Mike Miller-Burned, who is Mike in Twitch, if you ever hang out with us on Twitch, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so very much for your exceeding generosity. I love you for it. As for all of the rest of you patrons, I also love you very much. You're exceedingly generous, and I could not do it without you. Yay. So, did I mention that's patreon.com/themanapool in case I didn't actually say that, but I think I did. So anyway, all of that is done. This is the final episode of the Mana Pool in 2017. It's not been a good year, I'm not gonna lie. But what you gonna do? They can't all be winners, right, Mike? It's like jokes.
Right.
And for all the bad that has happened this year, there's been plenty of good. I'm less broke. I'm still broke, but I'm less broke this year than I was last year. Last year at this time, I was about to have a massive mental breakdown. I don't foresee that happening this year. Well, to be honest, I didn't foresee it last year, but there were warning signs. I don't see that happening this year. We've raised a lot of money for charity. We've entertained a lot of people. I've learned how to stream. I have a new desk. Life is peachy. Regardless of the state of the world, it's gonna get better because that's what things do.
Yeah.
So no matter how terrible things seem right now, and sometimes they do, sometimes you'll read the news and you're like, dear God, what is going on? What is wrong with these people? These people being, people. And everything sucks. It might. Everything doesn't suck. Just the sucky stuff gets all the press. There's still good in the world. If nothing else, you've got us to listen to, and we're still awesome. And a force of positivity. Right, Mike?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, if nothing else, just come to us. And unless I'm streaming and being extremely salty at whatever's going on, I'll be positive. When the darkness final boss kills me again, I probably won't be so positive. Screw that boss, by the way, Mike. Screw him.
Oh.
Screw him.
I haven't seen it yet, but now that you've told me about it, I'm sure the next 3 will be him.
Oh
Thanks.
my God. I think there's still one final boss that I haven't seen yet. Because I keep running into the darkness and the beholder guy.
Uh,
Oh yeah, this last one that I beat, actually, the rogue run, is one that I hadn't seen before. Beat him on the first try. What? That video will be going up very soon.
Nice.
But anyway, yes, enough of this. This has been 2017. Mana pool out. Pool's closed due to winter. Get the hell out of the pool. Go in the house and get warm. Unless you're in the southern hemisphere, in which case, what the hell, stay in the pool. It's fine. Yeah, I've been Chewy. Thank you all so very much for listening and for staying with us through all of our stupidity. And have happy holidays and be good to each other. And I guess go play some Magic.